So as you can see, this was our diagram that we had just drew. And I'm going to use the washer method. So the washer method equals outer radius squared minus inner radius squared, pi integrated. So we're now going to go back to our diagram and look at the radius. So this will be the radius of the inner, and this will be the radius of the outer, because you see the circle? Well, we know that this is sine x, and this is the cosec line. So we see here that this right here is the y value of the inner, which is sine x, and this right here is the y value of the outer, which is cosec. But that's not the entire radius, it's just the small portion. But this right here, since it's rotated about -2, this value is 2, which means that the total radius is 2 plus y. So, writing our outer, the radius is pi r squared, like the area, and we're subtracting the two area differences between the lines together to get the total volume of the washer. But for simplicity's sake, I'm leaving the pi out of it, and we're just going to use the radius and square it. So, setting up the integral, taking the pi out, as previously stated, the bounds are pi over 4, 0, and the outer radius is cosine squared plus 2 because of what I had shown here, minus the inner radius, which is sine x plus 2. Now, to simplify this integral, dx, you square it by the foiling method, which means you FOIL and you multiply each components of the parentheses to get cos squared x plus 2 cosec plus 2 cosec plus 4, which would go cos squared x plus 4 cosec plus 4. And we do the same with sine, and that's going to be the same thing except for the fact that it's going to be sine instead of cosine. So we're going to further finish our equation by putting in our distributed values. Minus, and we're going to put this in parentheses, now since we're subtracting, this negative sign is going to distribute through every single value in here. So it'll be negative sine squared x minus 4 sine x minus 4. This is a positive force. When we're just subtracting them, these two are going to cancel out. So to further simplify this, minus sine squared x minus 4 sine x. Now we're going to group them together because the way you solve this integral is we're going to use an identity called the double angle formula. Now the double angle formula is cosine squared x minus sine squared x equals cos 2x. And this is right there, so we're just going to make it that. So rewriting the integral, we have v equals pi over 4 o cosine 2x plus 4 cosec minus 4 sine x. And now it's just simple integration, dx. So the integral of cosine is positive sine, and the integral of sine is going to be negative cosine. Just keep that in mind. So u substitution we can do for this part of the integral because we can look at them as separate entities. U equals 2x, right? So du, the derivative, will be 2 dx, which substitution 1/2 du equals dx, which means that it's 1/2 cos u. And the integration of cosine is positive sine, so it would just be 1/2 sine, putting the u back in, 2x. And for cos u, it's the same reason we put the 1/2 out. We don't need to worry about it. We're just going to put it in front. Plus 4 sine x, because the integral of cosine is positive sine. And here, the integral of sine is negative cosine. So a negative times a negative makes a positive. So it's going to be plus 4 cosine x. And then that's the answer to our integral. And our bounds are pi over 4o. So we're just going to put them all in. So sine 2 pi over 4 over 2 plus 4 sine pi over 4 plus 4 cosine pi over 4, the first bound, minus sine 0 over 2 plus 4 sine 0 plus 4 cos 0. So now that we're here, after all these are plugged in, sine 2 pi over 4 over 2 is going to equal 1/2. 4 sine pi over 4 equals 2 rad 2. And then 4 cosine pi over 4 also equals pi over 2. The first part, any sine 0 is 0. So 0, 0. Cosine 0 is 1, so 4 times 1 is 4. So 1/2 plus 2 rad 2 plus 2 rad 2 minus 4. Now, to simplify, so we got here v equals pi 1/2 plus 2 rad 2 plus 2 rad 2 minus 4, 1/2 plus 2 rad 2 plus 2 rad 2 minus 4. Now we see that this is a denominator. To simplify this algebraically, if we do not have a calculator, we can make everything over 2. So to do that, we times it by 2 over 2, which is equal to 1. So 1/2, we keep it as is, plus 2 rad 2, which 2 rad 2 times 2 over 2 would be 4 rad 2 over 2, plus 4 rad 2 over 2, minus 8 over 2. Now, this is all, remember, pi's on the outside. We haven't put that back in yet. So 1/2 minus 8 over 2 is negative 7 over 2. 4 rad 2 over 2 times 2. These two added together is 8 rad 2 over 2. So the final answer is v equals pi 8 rad 2 over 2 minus 7 over 2. There we go.